Yesterday, we covered freight market crisis and fleet liquidations, U.S.-Canada trade war, and AI integration in logistics, Cisco and GM. It is Monday, August 24th, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Buck Reynolds, and I'm just trying to keep the wheels turning straight today.
This is Dan Miller.
I'm Jules Sterling.
And I'm Elena Rossi. We have a great show for you today.
Well, we certainly do. And look, yesterday was a heavy one. We hit the freight market crisis and those fleet liquidations that are breaking my heart. Not to mention the trade war with Canada and the agentistic AI moves at Cisco.
I mean, it was sort of a lot to process, right? But today we are shifting gears from that fallout toward, well, the strategic response, starting with some massive security shifts in the water and on the road.
Actually, I suppose we should start with the fact that cargo theft is undergoing a total identity crisis right now. The numbers are down, but the costs are through the roof.
Look, Elena, you're the Iron Lady of indemnity, so you saw these Veris CargoNet numbers coming, right? Theft incidents dropped 26%, but the losses doubled to $300 million?
Well, actually I did. It's the high-value, low-volume paradox. The thieves aren't hitting the low-hanging fruit anymore. They're hunting enterprise tech and industrial metals with surgical precision.
You mean they're getting picky? My thing is, if you're going to steal, you're going to steal. Why the sudden shift in the business model?
Because organized crime has become as data-driven as we have, Buck. You see, they aren't just doing smash and grabs anymore. They're using pit maneuvers in California to disable private security escorts.
Wait, a pit maneuver? Like in the movies?
Exactly. A new investigation just revealed thieves spinning out security vehicles to hijack AI hardware shipments. It's not just a heist. It's a tactical operation.
It's like a no-huddle offense, but for Grand Theft Auto. Great. Just what we needed. Tactical cargo thieves while we're trying to figure out if the diesel bill is going to bankrupt us.
And it's not just California, right? Elena, what's going on in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait? I'm hearing these dark crossings are becoming the new standard.
Actually, only 24 commodity vessels transited the strait yesterday. That's down from 32 on Saturday. Shipping giants like MSC are literally switching off their AIS signals to hide from Houthi detection.
You're telling me these ultra-large container ships are they're just going ghost in the middle of a war zone? That sounds like a safety nightmare waiting to happen.
It is, Buck. It's the precursor to catastrophe. If two ghost ships collide because they're trying to avoid a missile, the environmental and economic fallout would be, well, monumental.
Bottom line, we're seeing fuel surcharges spike because of it. Maersk just doubled their truck transport surcharge in the Med to 10% just to cover the rerouting costs.
Right. And as an account manager, I'm the one who has to tell the VP of supply chain why their freight just got 5% more expensive overnight. It's a joy.
Well, if I may, I suppose this is the reality of a world where tracking data is both our greatest asset and our greatest vulnerability.
All right, we're going to pivot here because we need to talk about the iron. Dan, I saw that ACT research report, and here's the deal. The used truck market is taking what they call a breather.
Look, Buck, a breather is just a nice way of saying retail prices for Class 8 trucks dropped 4.4% in 1 month. The mean price is now $61,000.
$61,000? Sort of feels like a bargain compared to last year, right? I mean, for a small fleet looking to upgrade?
Maybe, Jules. But the thing is, Manheim says wholesale prices are dropping too. Supply is finally catching up because new truck deliveries are hitting those typical levels again.
It's the trade-in wave, right? Everyone's finally getting their new rigs and dumping the 2021 era units, which, let's be honest, were run into the dirt.
Actually, that's my biggest concern. Buying from these bankruptcy auctions is a risk management nightmare. You don't know if the previous owner skipped oil changes to pay for diesel.
My thing is, the auction is the only place you can get a fair shake right now. Private sales have this price ceiling where the seller won't budge, but in an auction, the market speaks.
But, Buck, isn't there a risk of just, getting stuck with a lemon? Alina's right. The maintenance history on a liquidated fleet is usually a horror story.
Exactly. Complacency is the precursor to catastrophe. If you buy a fleet with neglected reefer units, you're just buying a future insurance claim.
Look, the play here is to use auctions for speed, not just price. If you need 10 trucks yesterday to fulfill a new contract, you hit the auction. Handshakes don't move used metal fast enough anymore.
Well, I still think a man's word on a private sale counts for something, but maybe I'm just an old white blood cell in a silicon body now.
Oh, Buck, you're not silicon yet. But the market is definitely shifting toward that wholesale volume, especially with interest rates where they are.
Now it's time for Diesel Dispatch, our Monday segment where we break down the fuel numbers and the macro drivers hitting your wallet.
And here's the deal. It's not a pretty picture this week. The national retail average for diesel hit $5.45 per gallon.
That is a 19.7-cent jump in a single week, Buck. That is the largest weekly increase we've seen since the start of 2024.
Look, imagine you're an owner-operator. You drive 2,500 miles a week at 6.5 mpg. This week, that just cost you $75 more out of nowhere.
And here's the play. It's not just crude oil. Brent is at $93, but the diesel crack spread, the cost to refine that barrel, just broke $100 for the first time ever.
Wait, $100 margin just for refining? You see, that is unprecedented. That means the refiners are the ones holding all the cards right now.
Well, they're running at 97% capacity, Elena. They're basically redlining the engines. We will be in serious trouble if any refinery suffers a mechanical failure.
Right. And the distillate inventories are 13% below the 5-year average. We are literally heading into harvest season with no safety net.
Bottom line for the shippers, your fuel surcharges are lagging. If you're not resetting your spot quotes every 24 hours, you're losing money on the fuel trap.
I'm seeing $6.80 at the pump in California. That's not a fluctuation. That's a wall. It's a gut punch for the guys on the slab.
It's a supply-side emergency. Look, plain and simple. Between Hormuz and the strikes on Russian refineries, the global pool of diesel is just, evaporating.
Diesel Dispatch, that's a wrap for today. Let's just hope next week has a bit more mercy for us.
Hey, before we move on, a quick note from our sponsor. Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering. This show is powered by the stack developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. Support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia for a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF.
Okay, if we can shift back to the regulatory world for a moment, we have a major leadership vacuum at the American Trucking Associations.
Look, Chris Spear is out. Just like that. Immediate departure after a decade. That contract extension he had? Void.
I've had my rumbles with the ATA, but Spear was a bulldog in D.C. Who's going to stand up for the industry now while all these broker liability laws are shifting?
Actually, that is the concern. We are entering a verify or die era for brokers. If you don't have a safety manual on your desk and a strict vetting process, you're a target for a nuclear verdict.
It's sort of a stressful time to be a diplomat, right? I have to reassure my clients that our carriers are safe, but the ATA was the one providing the unified front for those standards.
It's like losing your head coach in the middle of the fourth quarter. Spear was the one fighting the FMSCA on every little rule change. Now, it's anyone's game.
I suppose it just reinforces my point. Complacency is catastrophe. If the industry relies on one man for its regulatory defense, then we weren't prepared for the physical risk.
The thing is, the timing couldn't be worse. We've got cartel activity in the freight networks and now a leadership gap in the lobbying wing. It feels like we're being squeezed from both ends.
Well, it's an opportunity for a new breed of leadership, don't you think? Maybe someone who understands the tech side a bit better?
Which leads us perfectly into the main play today, the Agent AI inflection point. We're moving from co-pilots to agents that actually move the freight without us.
Here we go. The silicon drivers again. Optimal Dynamics is talking about this scale layer that autonomously negotiates loads? Who's checking the wheel bearings on a digital agent?
Buck, it's not about the bearings, it's about the fidelity. UPS is investing $2 billion into their connectivity play, focusing on one-touch logistics.
Actually, Jules, they're opening that high-tech hub at Clark Airport in the Philippines to reduce information lag. My thing is, how do you verify the data is accurate at the source?
Well, you see, that's the point of Agentic AI. It doesn't just look for errors after the fact, it's designed to prevent them by unifying air, ground, and brokerage data in real time.
Look, it's like having a quarterback who can see the whole field and call the audible before the defense even lines up. One-touch logistics means less human touch points, which means less human error.
Less human error sounds great until the software glitches and sends 50 reefers to the wrong coast because it thought the rate was a penny higher.
I suppose the liability shift here is massive. If an autonomous agent negotiates a load with a carrier that turns out to be a cartel front, who is responsible? The broker or the code?
Right? That's the diplomatic nightmare. But UPS is betting $2 billion that they can solve that by controlling the whole network. It's about fidelity, Elena, not just visibility.
Bottom line, we are moving toward a world where the data is the shipment. If the data's clean, the truck moves. If it's dirty, you're staring at a 3 to 7% billing error rate.
The thing is, I still think you need a guy like me to smell a failing hub or talk a driver through a snowstorm in Wyoming. You can't code for black ice.
We know, Buck, you're our safety net. But wouldn't you rather have the AI handle the boring stuff, like EDI bidding, so you can focus on the rose garden?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let the robots handle the money while I prune the floribundas. Sounds like a plan to get us all replaced by silicon.
My thing is, I actually believe the technology could help with the cargo theft issue. If the AI is monitoring for anomalies in transit, it might detect a hijacking before the driver even knows.
It's the no-huddle offense again. If the AI sees the pit maneuver happening in the telemetry data, it can lock down the truck and call the authorities instantly.
Well, as long as it doesn't try to drive the truck itself. I've seen enough sci-fi movies to know where that ends up.
It's not about replacement, Buck. It's about empowerment. Sort of. At least that's what the VP of Supply Chain wants to hear.
Complacency is the precursor to catastrophe. We must ensure that these autonomous agents are held to the same safety standards as our best drivers.
Right. Handshakes might be moving to code, but relationships still rely on trust, even when a $2 billion UPS server supports that trust.
Yeah, I suppose we'll see. But for now, I'm keeping my CB radio tuned to the old-fashioned way of doing things. You just can't trust a signal you can't see. That's all for today's High Road Logistics and Leadership.
We've looked at the tactical heists, the diesel wall at 545, and the $2 billion bet UPS is making on a world where the data is the driver.
Later.
Bye.
Peace out.
Keep it between the lines and keep your roses watered, folks.